one thing to just start a business, but it's another thing to be anointed for business. It's another thing to be chosen for business. That is another thing to be the chosen one to break poverty and to break a lack off your bloodline.
Am I really that much to handle? Breaking these figures down like a gamble. You don't really know you.
What's up, y'all? So first of all, I'm Makayla. For those that don't know, my name is not Lola. It's Makayla. Lola was my grandmother, and that is who Lola's Canvas is named after, my late grandmother Lola. And I'm just coming on here being obedient to God, basically sharing this journey, documenting this journey, because it is so many days where I have hard days. For those that don't know, and I'm pretty sure no one knows, God called me off my job August 7th, 2024. He took my job from me, and it made no sense. And anyone that does not know, I am a registered nurse. And so not only did he take my job, but in the moment I was confused. So I decided I was going to go and get another job. And within about an hour after I had gotten fired, I had a new job. And I went to this other job. I had a new job, and they were saying, yeah, you can start tomorrow. And as I was getting ready to walk in to sign the paperwork, God told me, he said, do not take that job. This is a hard stop. It is time for you to do what I have called you to do. And I was so confused because I was like, it makes no sense. My business is not booming. I'm not getting a whole lot of orders. This makes no sense. Why don't you want me to work? And he just said, trust me. Just trust me. Am I not Jehovah Jireh, your provider? Just trust me. And that's really hard. I think a lot of times we think that trusting God is going to be super, super easy, and it's not. Especially in that moment, I'm thinking, okay, God is telling me to trust him, so that must mean that my business is about to take off. That must mean that if I'm trusted, he's telling me to trust him. He's taking me off my job. He knows that I have bills to pay. My business is about to take off. No. Today is February 26, 2025, and my business has not taken off yet. That does not mean that it is not getting ready to. It just has not done it yet. So think about 6 months. Has it been 6 months? Yeah. Actually, 7 months. It's been 7 months with no job. 7 months of not really being able to pay my bills. 7 months of just getting by. It has been the hardest time of my life, having to try to trust God financially. I didn't realize how hard that was actually going to be, because if I could be honest, I've never had to trust God before. I've never had to trust God financially before. He supplies our needs and allows us to get jobs to be able to pay our bills, and he gives us the strength and everything to be able to go to work and the knowledge to be able to do the job. But when he takes you off your job, tells you to trust him, it's like, what? It's like, wait, what? There's no way you're telling me this. There's no way that you took me off my job. You told me to trust you, and I'm seeing no movement in my business. But what I will say, that during this time, he said, now get everything. He really instructed me to get everything together with the business. And so what I mean by that is, I didn't have email flows and everything set up. I was able to get all of these things, email flows, SMS, everything on the back end of my business set up at such an accelerated pace, because I now had the time. And not only did I have the time, but God was sustaining me. Even though I'm not having this big abundance of finances, he was sustaining me, meaning our lights were paid. We had food. We had clothes on our back. I was able to get my kids a couple of gifts for Christmas. It was not an abundant overflow, but he sustained. And I'm going to be honest with you, I thought that because God called me to business, that I was going to have this overnight success. I honestly thought that, because I know we see so many people talk about, oh, my first month of business, I made $30,000. My first month of business, I made $100,000. Come with me, I made 6 figures in a month. It doesn't work like that. And let me tell you something. It is such a weighty mantle to carry, the mantle of wealth for the Lord. It is a weighty mantle. You are going to get attacked in such a very strong way, because let me tell you something. Everybody want to talk about being chosen. Oh, I'm chosen by God. But no, the true chosen ones don't want the mantle. And as I walk as a true chosen one of the Lord, I don't want the mantle, but he has entrusted me with it. Meaning it's a daunting task to be entrusted with wealth for the Lord, because the enemy is going to attack you at every single area of your life. And what I mean by that is the enemy knows that the wealth of the wicked is stored up for the righteous. And it's his righteous children that hold the mantle of wealth that he's getting ready to release upon us. And I was just like, God, okay, so you took me off my job. You're telling me to trust you. And let me tell you guys something. When you have creditors and people that, like, your creditors are coming knocking at your door, they leaving you all types of things, they're sending things to collections, and you're asking God, what do I do? And he's still saying, trust me. That's tough. It's tough. It's like a slap in the face. Like, what? You just want me to trust you? But what God had to, he sent someone that I'm really close to, a powerful woman of God, Prophetess Tiffany. He sent her to me, and he told her to let me know, you will not go under. You will not lose anything in this hour. Why? Because you have trusted me, and I have not lost anything. We're still on this journey, and I'm calling this, as I'm documenting this, I'm calling this a letter to God from a multi-millionaire in the making, because he spoke that over my business, and we all know that his word cannot return to him void. And he has shown himself mighty in every way. And even on the days where I feel weary and on the days I don't really want to keep going, I don't know if any of you have Shopify or know what the Shopify noise makes, and that's what I use for my business. I use Shopify, but it makes this certain noise. And anytime that I'm feeling low and I'm feeling like, man, I don't know, I get a Shopify notification. And the revelation what God gave me with that, actually he gave me that today because it happened today. I was in a low place, and he'll give that send that someone a purchase, and I'll get that Shopify notification, right? And what he showed me was, I don't know if any of you taking your kids to Chuck E. Cheese, and they have this one game that when you press it, it builds up momentum. It's like ding, ding, ding. It builds up momentum, but it's building up momentum to hit the jackpot, right? And so he showed me every time you hear this ding, it's building up momentum. Every time you hear the Shopify, it's building up momentum, just like in the game. He said, and when it builds up just enough momentum, you're going to hit the jackpot, and then you're going to see an overflow of abundance in your business. And I was like, oh my God, that was the revelation he gave me today, to just keep going. He gives me these revelations to just keep my faith up, because y'all, it's one thing we see so many people start businesses and they talk about entrepreneurship, and it's one thing to just start a business, but it's another thing to be anointed for business. It's another thing to be chosen for business. That is another thing to be the chosen one, to break poverty and to break a lack off your bloodline. That's a daunting task, and the enemy knows that, and he attacks me so hard. And God has this shield around me, this shield where the enemy can't really touch me. The enemy might think he can come, but it's a shield around me where he can't get to me. He comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but he won't kill you. The things that he's sending my way, it has not killed me. And I have thanked God for that, because this has been a hard season in my life. And as I'm documenting this, I'm calling it a letter to God, because I told God, you calling me to millions. And I think so many people have a misconstrued idea of what it is to be a millionaire. We have this misconstrued idea of what it is to be called by God, right? So I call this a letter to God, because I told God, as you bring me through this journey, I'm going to give the people the real raw version of what it is to be called to wealth for the kingdom. Not to be a child of the devil and have wealth, because they get wealth pretty easily, but to be a child of God and to receive hold that mantle of wealth, and to have wealth in your life, and to give God all the glory, all the praise, all the honor, and to honor him with the wealth. It's a different task. And I told him, I will help every entrepreneur that you send my way. I will help them. And I'm going to keep it real with them, or raw with them, and 100%. But whatever you need me to do for them, I will help them. And this is what this is. And so I'm going to end this. I'm going to keep the journey going. You know, I'm going to vlog it every single day, because it is different emotions you're going to feel and different things that you're going to have to deal with. But I wrote my letter to God today, and I'm going to read it, and I'm going to end the video. And, oh, Lordy. It says, Dear God, I have to be honest, it is hard trusting you for financial provision, especially as a business owner. It was easier to trust you when I had a job and my bills were paid. And Hebrews 11:1 says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. I feel like I've been hopeful and not seen. I feel like I put in so much work and I'm not seeing anything. And if I can be honest, it's easier clocking in and seeing direct deposit every 2 weeks. It's comfortable. But comfortable is not who you are. And I repent for doubting you. And even though I'm uncomfortable, I submit to your will for my life, because I truly believe I'm stepping into my record-breaking season. Just like 1 Corinthians 2:9, for it is written, eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard, nor has it entered into the heart of man the things God has prepared for those that love him. Sincerely, your daughter. And as I go on this journey and I take you guys with me and you see me build this empire, this journey, I wanted to help so many people and give you a realistic, what it is to realistically do business with God, what it is to realistically be called to business through God, by God. This is my journey, and it's just the beginning.